Madison's heightened senses picked up on sounds she'd never heard before. Crickets hidden below the grass chirped so loud she could pinpoint their location. The wind carried enough smells to distract her, from the sweat of people in the vicinity to the decay of an animal who lost its battle with life. Her eyesight sharpened in the dark. She could see everything. Even from across the yard, she could see her mother's form as she walked through the entrance from the window. "I don't know about this, Brian. I can't focus on any one thought long enough to do anything," she whispered.
Put Kennedy in your mind. See her face, hear her voice. Remember the times you two had together, and I want you to hold tight to the rage you feel at her kidnapping. Use that to your advantage and unleash it on Demon. He and Mastema are one. If you kill one member, it is a blow against the man that holds your cousin.
Her heart ached at the thought of Kennedy, but the anger soon took the place of the pain. The time had come for action, and though it might not be the one she wanted to strike, she hoped Mastema felt the blade nonetheless.
"Who is out there?"
A young man stepped out onto the patio that separated the yard and the building. A disgusting scent of putrid decay filled her nostrils, and she knew the stench came from him. She hoped all demons didn't smell as he did.
Jacqueline Alexander Sferon, do you admit to your crimes that have earned the wrath of God?
Michael's voice came out of nowhere and took Madison by surprise. The loud boom of his words carried throughout the courtyard.
"Screw you, angel scum. We will rise up and rule both the earth and the heavens."
The man snarled. He turned from human to demon at the same time as he spoke. He grew taller and his muscles more defined. His red hue had a slime that ran along his skin, but no ink rivers like her mother.
Then we, under the authority of God the Father, find you guilty and sentence you to his wrath.
Michael's words seemed to come from every direction. Madison stepped forward and a spotlight from the building lit the yard. The light didn't bother her as she thought it would. Jacqueline noticed her straight away.
"You sent a girl. Is this a joke? I needed a good laugh."
He advanced toward Madison with his arms out, palms up, fingers spread wide. Madison pulled out the two small daggers her mother gave her. The shafts molded to her hand with perfect form. They circled each other like. She could feel his excitement, smell his excitement at the thought of fighting.
"Ready to die, little girl? It won't be pleasant."
He lunged at her and she sidestepped him with ease. She brought up one of the daggers and swung it at him, and it cut his arm. He roared with rage and swung at her with the back of his fist. The glancing blow still hurt enough to knock her to the ground. With a burst of speed, she jumped up and figured that made them even.
"So you can take a hit."
His heart rate increased, and she knew he enjoyed the thought of a battle that wouldn't end too quickly. She refused to speak. He didn't deserve her words. In the hopes he'd tire, she only responded to his attacks with one of her own. When he showed no signs of slowing, she began to take the lead. With fast, precise movements, she came at him with both daggers singing as they cut through the air. One after the other, she used her years of experience to break through his defense and smiled when blood seeped through his wounds.
Now watch this."
The demon's foot shot out and caught her off guard. He grabbed a handful of her hair and knocked her off balance despite her best efforts to keep her footing. His strength put hers to shame and he outmaneuvered her. Once he got her to the ground, he tried to slam his fist into her face, but she'd been prepared for that as well. She wound her legs around his form and flipped their bodies so she lay straddled on him. The demon from within her broke loose and her own power exploded.
A demon with wings."
His voice held fear for the first time. They wrestled on the ground, each trying to gain the upper hand while Madison's energy waned. Her breath came more and more frequently as she struggled to maintain control of the battle set to decide her fate.
"Untried, untested, you fail."
He whispered. With a sudden monumental show of power, he ripped her daggers from her grasp and pinned her to the ground.
"Perhaps you would have made a good huntress, but the world will never know."
The freak had the audacity to wink at her as he raised his arm above her body with the dagger gleaming in the moonlight. Brian's words whispered in the back of her mind, and she did exactly what he told her to. While Jacqueline focused on stabbing her, she reached forward in a last-ditch effort to save her life and grabbed his crotch with all 5 nails pointed. He howled in agony as he brought the dagger down and buried it deep within her shoulder. The pain couldn't be described as it ripped through her flesh and bones. He fell over when she refused to release her nails where she dug them into his sack. With her free hand, she grabbed the dagger embedded in her shoulder and took a deep breath. Madison yanked it free, and to her horror, blood poured from the wound like a sieve. The demon already rose to his feet, though he moved at a slower rate.
I have to give you props for that. I didn't see it coming.
He said as he struggled for breath. Then you probably aren't expecting this either, Madison said as she spoke for the first time. She reached behind her head and pulled out the small blade. Tiffany taped to her back. Madison argued she wouldn't need it, but Tiffany had asked her to humor her. With speed borrowed from adrenaline, Madison flung the blade at him with a force that defied how weak her wound had made her. He looked at her for the first time with respect as his black eyes turned to a lighter shade of gray, then went white. He fell to his knees and then fell backwards. To make sure he stayed dead, she bent over him and pushed the small knife through his heart. He grunted his final breath and died at her feet. Madison's legs gave out beneath her as tears welled in her eyes. She just killed a man. It didn't matter that he was a demon. She took the life of someone who had done nothing to her. Why? So she could keep some abilities she just found out she had. Her stomach heaved and she threw up at her side. She expelled the contents of her body until nothing remained, and she continued to retch afterwards.
Lucky for you, I'm a demon who can't really die.
Madison's head snapped up and she stared into the eyes of the man she just killed. I don't understand, she whispered.
My real boss is an ancient one. He figured Vive would lead you here. I am a demon, but I'm also immortal.
He smiled at her and Madison began to cry. The relief she experienced overwhelmed her. She didn't kill him. Oh, thank God in heaven. I think I failed, she said.
No, you passed with flying colors. I'm your uncle, by the way. Vive is my kid sister, who has a whole lot of explaining to do.
Her uncle, oh God, she tried to kill her uncle. She tried to stand but staggered as she grew more lightheaded.
Easy there, slugger. That wound needs to be healed. I don't imagine you can do it yourself, with the whole angel wing thing you got going for you.
I have no idea, she said as her vision began to erode.
Stay with me. Your mama will try and kill me for real if anything actually happens to you.
Madison fell backwards and stared up at the sky. She focused on the stars and how they shone so bright against the blanket of the evening. One star seemed to call to her, so she stared at it. Her shoulder hurt, but its pain began to ebb and flow with the wind around her.
Well, niece Madison, daughter of heaven and hell, let me be the first to tell you, it appears you can actually heal yourself.
Madison found his smiling face and then looked at her shoulder. The wound had closed.
Let's go meet your grandparents,
he said.